I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelly.
And we're Sisters in Ebert. Welcome back for another Movie Monday. This week we're continuing our Dan Aykroyd series with My Girl 2.
My Girl 2.
Although he's not in this one as much.
No, and he actually almost didn't reprise his role.
That would have been
He
sad.
and Jamie Lee Curtis, because they were barely in it, but they said, we need to show the development of the characters. Yeah. So they said, okay.
I'm glad they did it.
Yes, they agreed.
They bring a lot to the film.
Mm-hmm, they do.
Both of the films.
Their little part brought a lot.
Yes. So this was 1993, 2 years after the first. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing where Veda is now, where Harry and Shelley are now, and just where everybody's come since then. We open up with Veda saying she remembers being born and that her stepmother is currently pregnant. Shelley's with child.
Has a big old baby bump.
And Shelley can't eat a meatball or she'll throw up. And I said, I hear that, though she looks like the second trimester at least, so that sucks. Because I said, I hear that because I had that problem with pregnancy with the food aversion.
Most of the time you grow out of
it. It usually is once you get into the second, you're good to go.
Yeah, Portia. She's like stereotypical pregnant.
Yeah.
Like she's eating weird things.
Yeah.
Like they would definitely.
They played it up.
Yeah.
So this would be what, 1974-ish?
Yes.
Because the first one's 72.
Yeah. Yeah, and Veda's like a 14-ish.
Harry is much happier setting up for a funeral. Like, he's like, our house
is
a very, very, very fine
house. Yeah, it's a very cheerful moment as he gets ready for someone's funeral.
Judy arrives to see Veda and is freaked out by the corpse that's in...
And Veda's like...
Yeah, like,
you don't have to be
it's just a corpse.
Yeah.
Oh, is that all, Veda? Uncle Phil moved to California, so he's no longer living with them. And Harry asks Veda to move rooms against Shelley's wishes. He's still a little out of touch.
Yes.
Because he asked Veda to move her room into Gramu's room.
Down the hall.
Because Veda's room is closer to Shelley and Harry's room.
Yes.
For the baby. Mm-hmm. And Shelley didn't want to ask. She didn't want to do this.
Yeah, she's
because
like, no, we don't.
She's getting enough upheaval. She says she doesn't want to, make it worse. But he said, well, Grandma's room is bigger, But after hearing that her mom painted her room and the old one that just kind of made me sad too.
Yeah, it's like, let me just kick
you
out here. Your whole world's changing.
I know.
Why not change where you live?
Yes. Harry takes Veda bowling and Veda suggests getting her own apartment instead. I remember that. They show that on the commercials a lot.
What? And he throws the ball. He's very, he had a glove. He was very serious about bowling.
Yeah, I was wondering if bingo and bowling were his thing.
Yes.
Maybe. Judy says that her mom can't have any more kids, and Veda says that hers can't either. She's dead.
And Judy's still taken aback by Veda sometimes. She's
because Veda says that Thomas J would have just not even reacted.
He'd been yeah, that's true.
Yep. Judy's upset when a boy likes Veda and not Judy, supposedly. This boy's acting goofy with both of them.
Yeah, he's being mean to Veda, and that's supposed to be the sign
what
the boy
likes you. What did he call her? Because it was Sultan.
Something with it was a bug because she had those glasses on.
Yeah.
They were in
but he was making fun of her last name because she was Sultan.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know, but.
Yeah. He's a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't know why you have a crush on him.
I know. It was like the equivalent of Audrey's boyfriend in European Vacation.
Yes!
Yeah. I don't remember his name either, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
what was it? Oh.
Yeah, I know.
I can hear whining his name.
And I was like, it was.
Oh, Jack!
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 I was like, it was something simple like Paul or John. Okay. So Veda's family is discussing baby names and boys as she's decorating Veda's new room. Because she's asking Shelley if that's true, that boys are only mean to you if they like you. Mm-hmm. And Shelley and Harry are singing to the baby in utero.
Baby! Baby! Yeah, he's playing the trumpet.
It's his trumpet that he...
Or was it a trombone?
It's the tuba.
Oh, it was a tuba.
It was a tuba,
okay.
Yeah. And he's playing it, and Shelley's singing, baby, baby, baby love.
So loud.
This
baby is going to come out. Its ears ringing.
After catching Judy on a date with the boy that's supposedly like Vada's feeling lost without her mother around. Mm-hmm. She went over to Judy's house and he was over there. They were doing homework.
Because that was something Shelley had said. Like, next thing you know, he'll
be asking you to do your homework and you'll be talking about TV shows and movie stars or something like that.
And eating popcorn or something like.
Yeah.
One thing leads to another.
Yeah, exactly. So Vada gets an assignment to write a paper on someone that she never met who achieved something, and Vada chooses her mother. Oh. I know. I guess we shouldn't tell the teacher that she technically met her mother, but it was just for like a second.
I mean, she doesn't remember it.
No.
And her mom might not even have remembered it.
We were not sure. If you watched our previous one, Vada's mother died in childbirth, and she... may or may not have been cognizant that her child was with her, when she passed.
That she got to hold the baby.
Yeah, but they don't know if she knew that she was holding the baby. Yeah. They're she's trying to get facts on her mom from Harry, but really they were only together a year or less, it sounds like.
It was quick. It was a whirlwind romance.
They made it sound like they were together like a while in the last one.
So he doesn't even know a lot about her.
No, because they had gotten married pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And then a month after they got married, she found out she was pregnant.
And then she was gone.
Yeah, and then she was gone. That's what he said too. Then she was gone. That was it. But that was
he's got zero information.
Yeah, and that's so sad for him too, because that was his great love before Shelley, and it was about a year. You know?
Well, it kind of makes the whirlwind Shelley romance make a little more sense.
For him, that was probably normal.
Yes, this is what we do.
Yeah. So the teacher and classmates are hassling Vada on choosing her mother for her paper. They're kind of being jerks to her.
Why would you choose your mother?
Yeah.
Your mother.
What great things has she done?
She had me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what she did.
All Vada knows fits in one little box. Hello. Our guest star has arrived.
Zorro is here.
We let him in advance this time.
Yes.
Last episode, he was beaten down the door. So
hello.
Sorry about the anus.
Booty in my face. We have to blur.
We'll get him one of those little jewels for his.
Yuck.
Which Shelley didn't even know about this little box. So she's like, man, can you show me? Yeah.
She's very in her pregnancy feels.
Yeah. So her mom was in a lot of plays. She was in an acting troupe and prior to meeting Harry. And then there's a paper lunch bag that says 12/8/1958, but no one knows what it means.
What does this date mean?
Yeah. And her name is Margaret Ann Moldovan before she got married. Shelley gets the idea for Vada to do research on her mom over spring break in LA, where her mom grew up, to visit Uncle Phil and stay with him and do the research. And Harry doesn't like the idea.
No, he's like, what?
Yeah.
She's a baby, basically. You can't put a baby on an airplane.
But Vada already bought the ticket with her own money, and Shelley helped and can see that Vada's struggling. Yeah, so she pulls some strings with Harry and gets him to say yes.
So she's off to California.
Harry says no, but you cut to the airport dropping off Vada and says don't talk to or look at anyone.
He says not even a nun.
Not even a nun, yeah. Nick picks up Vada in LA, who's fearful going with him. It's this teenage boy who she's never met or even heard of. Her Uncle Phil's supposed to pick her up, and he's not there.
Yes.
Phil is paying Nick $5 to pick her up and bring her back. So Phil is dating Nick's mom, Rose.
Yes.
And Rose and him live together with Nick in this apartment above her family's garage, like a mechanics.
Auto body shop.
Yeah. And they do a lot of custom car work.
Phil works. He's a mechanic.
He's a mechanic, and
there,
he works.
And she's the boss.
And I think that's how they met.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And then they got friendly.
Yes. Oh, too friendly.
So she meets Nick abruptly at the airport. Now Nick's probably only a year or two older than Vada.
Yeah, I think they're probably the same age.
Yeah.
And he's very oh, just come on.
He doesn't want to be doing this. This is his summer break or no, not his summer break, his spring break.
Yeah.
And he's very, street savvy because he's grown up in this big city. Vada's from small town Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So, the taxi takes the kids to the Budapest Auto Repair, which Nick's family owns, and Uncle Phil works there, like we said. Nick gets the $5, but his mother tells him to give it back, Nicholas, without even looking up. And Phil and Rose are dating and living together.
Rose is great. She's no nonsense, but sweet.
She's a good like mom, but like she's no nonsense. Like
she's not gonna put up with it.
Because she's the boss. She's used to dealing with male mechanics all day, and like she's not gonna take any crap either. So Veda will check out her mom's high school, and Phil and Rose send Nick with her as a guide, and Phil gives Nick $10.
Yeah.
We catched him doing that when they're doing the dishes. He slips him $10.
Veda overhears it.
Yeah, because they wanted to keep it on the down low from his mom, because she knew she wouldn't let him pay him to go take.
It seems like Nick and Phil have a good relationship.
It does, yeah, for like a step kind of relationship.
Yeah, like they're engaged.
Yeah, or are they engaged? Or
engaged to be engaged. Engaged to be engaged.
Because I don't even think
they weren't.
She has a ring or anything.
No, she does not. It's not locked down.
And Rose isn't too happy about this either.
Yes.
Like, she, like the lack of commitment.
Yes.
But so they get to the high school the next day to find out that the high school burned down in 1963.
There's just a plaque there with a big field.
And they're not sure what to do without a yearbook, because they were going to go to the high school and get the yearbook and try to.
Then we can learn all about my mom. We can learn who her friends are.
Which that doesn't tell you that in the yearbook.
Well, if you see them in pictures, like they're in clubs together, like.
But like, I mean, I was in activities and I wasn't necessarily friends with all those people.
True. But I mean, you could go and say, okay, she was in the drama club. So let's find these people who are in the drama club.
Or like if you go back to her earlier years too, like not just her senior year, but like see like, okay, well she was in this play with this person.
Yes.
She knows them more than just
times.
passing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So they go to where the yearbooks are printed. Somehow knew where that was, I put.
And they want to know, hey, I guess.
Yeah, and they find the yearbook. Nick feels that the yearbooks hype you up too much.
And it's just like a warehouse full of boxes.
Like they said, this one might not even be here. Like we moved everything over and it's not unpacked and it's not organized.
So like you can go through these millions of boxes.
It'll be over here somewhere if it's here at all.
So they spent a long time going through these boxes.
Yeah.
But they found it.
Do yearbook printing places keep the yearbooks after they print them?
Maybe they did it this time because you don't have a digital copy.
That's true. So, yeah, so if you ever needed a reprint or something.
Yes,
yeah. Okay. They're trying to hunt down classmates in mutual activities. First was the newspaper club person, and he's now a cop. Mm-hmm. And he was in Saved by the Bell, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He was a teacher in Saved by the Bell. Mr. something, I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
They hassled the cop for not being liberal enough and turned in Maggie for smoking. She was the first girl suspended. He was a hall monitor, and he's like, yeah, I'd do it again.
Yeah, they were like, who would do that to her? I'd do it again.
I'd do it again, yeah.
Narc.
Yeah, but she shouldn't be smoking. Either.
Yeah, definitely not.
Back at the garage, someone brings a Jaguar in to be serviced and flirts with Rose. He's a pediatric cardiologist. Oh, you fix the hearts of little babies?
Yeah. And he's like taking off his aviators. Like, yes, I do.
Yeah. And Phil's jealous right off the bat.
He's like touching the car, gets it dirty.
Well, he shakes his hand. Oh, I'm sorry. I got all over you. Yeah. Well, what Rose says that, because Phil said, well, did you tell him about our arrangement? She's like, what arrangement? Currently, you're an intimate boarder with mechanical skills. But if you want husband rights, you need to ask her something first.
Yeah.
An intimate boarder.
She's not shy about this.
No.
And she's like, listen, I can flirt with whoever I want.
Yeah. And sure enough, he doesn't say anything when she says he needs to ask her something first. And she's like, and she just looks like, I thought not, you know, So
he's a little afraid of commitment.
Yeah. So
which I don't know why.
I don't either, but he's a Sultan fuss.
Yeah.
So Harry's not exactly, I mean.
Well, no, he's way into commitment.
Well, but they have to pretty much be in as like
they have to throw themselves
at him. Yeah. He won't go out looking
They have to
for
tell
anybody.
you what to do. Yes.
Harry would have been single forever had Shelley not been so direct.
But Phil seemed like a womanizer.
Yeah,
even in the first movie.
Yeah, he was always. Well, Harry was asking him in the first movie for dating advice.
Yeah, as he was getting ready to go out with Shelley the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, because he hasn't been on a date since the 50s.
Yeah, he was giving her all that terrible advice, like don't hold the door open.
Yeah, all this women's lib stuff that nobody's ever wanted, no matter what era it's been. Yeah. Because that was big in the 90s too. I remember that was like the thing, like, well, don't. Woman likes to be independent. Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah. A little chivalry.
She just wants to like pick her, food and her
you
her
don't
job.
need to order off the menu for her, but she can stand to have a door open for her now and again.
Exactly. Next person that they hunt down is Stanley Rosenthal. He's a photographer. He's Ben Stein.
Yes, Ben Stein.
I thought it said Bernstein. I'm like, what is Bernstein? I just said his name is Stanley Rosenthal. But yeah, it's Ben Stein. He had a crush on Maggie, but they never dated. He went off to UCLA and started hanging out with theater types. And
it should also be noted he was photographing a wedding at this point.
Yes!
He was working. They're at the wedding asking him as he's going around to like the different tables at the reception taking people's pictures. Like, a little professionalism here.
Absolutely.
Send these little teenagers away.
How about it? I guess things were a little more weddings were kind of more casual maybe then. I don't know. Some, not all. Because you see some that are like big to-dos and others that are like, we're in a field. Yeah. Which could be today, too. So we go find Veda's favorite poet, Alfred Biedermeier. Oh, yeah, because Ben Stein was talking about how she took Biedermeier's class. Mm-hmm. And he was like a professor at UCLA at the
she
time.
immediately knew the name.
Yeah.
Oh, he's my favorite poet.
And who knew Maggie at UCLA, but he had a bad memory, and he said, don't be a writer, be a TV repairman, because she's all fawning over him, and he's like, poetry's dead, we never made any money poetry. Nick takes Veda to the tar pits to get cheered up. Veda still has her mood ring and it's still blue. And Nick wants to try the ring and nearly loses it in the tar. I put jerk because he's purposely
teasing. He's pretending
to throw it in like a big old butthead. And just explain how she had just explained how important it was and how it was the only thing she had left of her friend Thomas J. And
and he's pretending to like drop it, like he pretended he actually did, like he had her thinking he was like, oh, like she's freaking out, she's running around trying to find
jump
it,
into the tar pit,
and then he's like, oh, this,
it
went on far too long.
It did.
For how upset she was.
I was like, I know that he was an immature teenage boy, but I just want to punch him in the face.
You can have a little sympathy for the girl.
Nick looks on on Veda sleeping. Yeah, like his mom's like, Nick, you're gonna wake up Veda. And he's like, I want something to drink. She's like, there's water in your bathroom. I want juice. Which, no, sir, you brushed your teeth. Sorry.
You should not. You're gonna get cavity.
So next, they find another classmate, Peter Webb, who refers the kids to Hillary Mitchell, who is who was a close friend of Maggie's.
Yes.
The parents go on a date that evening, and Nick takes Veda out to the Chinese theater to see Judy Garland's handprints as her mother her footprints as her mother had the same size feet, and Veda gets her ears pierced. And as her dad said, don't come back with anything pierced or, I forget what he said. Like, there was like, and which, how? I guess you didn't have to be 18 then, maybe?
70s.
I guess.
You could do anything back then. And they weren't supposed to leave the house.
No, they weren't.
To leave the apartment.
And, the second the parents were out of, around the corner, let's go.
Bye.
Yep.
And they were hitting the town. They had a grand old time.
They did. It was a nice night for them. Nick is working out what they would be if Phil and Rose got married. How they would be related.
Yeah, how they'd be related.
And ear piercing is a totally barbaric custom. So he wasn't on board with her getting her ears pierced. Now, the kids get home late, and Rose goes nuts. They're already home. Because they were just going for coffee, she said.
This was, around the corner.
Yeah.
You had, 10 minutes.
Yeah. And tells Veda not to shave her legs, or her dad will never let her visit again if they send her home. Hairless and full of holes. Because that was the other thing Harry said. Yeah, don't shave she's going to start shaving her legs and getting her ears pierced. And, your dad will never let you visit us again. So Jaguar Guy is back and hitting on Rose.
The doctor.
And I guess, he's supposed to be suave, but I'm like, you're stepping over lines here, buddy.
Yeah, he definitely was trying too hard.
Yeah, he was being a little schmoozy. Mm-hmm. Kids go to see Hillary Mitchell, who's an emotional wreck. I put me in the last filming of My Girl 1, that was Hillary Mitchell 24/7.
And she wasn't even mourning a child's death.
No, she was like, oh, Maggie.
Oh.
she tells Veda she remembers your mom, and your dad. And Hillary can't believe that Jeffrey Pomeroy is an undertaker, because she was talking about this car that he used to drive, and she was like, oh, he drives a hearse now, and she's like, Jeffrey Pomeroy is an undertaker.
Yeah.
And he's like, his name is Harry Sultanfuss, and she's like, oh.
So here's the new character.
We find out that Veda's mother was married before, and Veda fears that he may be her real father.
She's like, I'm nothing like my dad.
No, she's like, this nose. Nobody in my family has this nose. Nick says to ask Phil first, but because he might know more.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. So Veda calls her dad and says she wants to go see Jeffrey Pomeroy. She's trying to like feel him out.
Yeah.
And he asks if it's a new rock star. And
so he has
so
knowledge.
she knows that at that point he has no idea.
He had no idea that this was Maggie's past.
Yeah. So Shelley has been put on bed rest at this point though, because there's something not right with the pregnancy. Nick and it was just a very quick phone call though. Like I said, they're not in this movie very much.
Yeah, they're really not.
Really focused more on Veda and Nick in this movie. Nick and Veda go back to Sergeant Tanaka, who is the first. The cop who narked on
narc.
Yeah, the narc. Where's the narc?
The narc.
To run info on Jeffrey Pomeroy, and they bully him into it. I put nerd. You're letting these two teenage kids.
Put your job on the line.
You're an LAPD cop. Whatever. So he, pretends that this guy has a warrant out, and so they need to run his info and everything like that. Phil takes Veda to Jeffrey's house, and I said she's unsure of whether to ever tell her father or not. So she must have told Phil, because he knows.
Because Phil, she needed a ride to get
he's
there.
Like, well, your dad's got this whole life now. He's like, maybe this should just be a secret between you and your mom. So they arrive at Jeffrey Pomeroy's house in Topanga Canyon, which is where Topanga from Boy Meets World got her name. And Veda decides to knock on the door, because they were just going to pull up and see. She wasn't sure if she was even had the guts to talk to him. Okay. Pomeroy knew who Veda was right away just by her name. And I said, did they keep in touch? And Maggie died right after Veda was born. So how would he even know?
I thought it was more like, you look just like her sort of thing.
Well, as soon as she said her name, he was like, yeah, you're Maggie's daughter, but maybe it was the obituary.
It could have been he might have looked her up.
Yeah.
To see what.
His wife and daughter are also there. They live in a nice little house, it's really cute.
He's got a nice little family.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a little farmy land type of.
And she's still like, oh, this could be my little sister.
Yeah, because the little girl looks a lot like Veda, blonde hair, long blonde hair. Maggie told great stories. Pomeroy knows the meaning of the paper bag and explains that they went to New York City and they got married in the snow and ate hot chestnuts. They didn't have any money and there was no cameras. So they said that the bag was their wedding album. It was the bag that the chestnuts came in.
Oh,
yeah.
Very sentimental.
I guess. I guess it was sweet, but... Because, I don't know what happened to the rest of it. Because he was like, well, she wanted to get married at this little cafe and it was closed when they got there. And so, I don't know. I guess it was just simple.
They just wanted to be married.
Yep.
They didn't care where. At that
point. You're right. Pomeroy shows Veda movies of her mother, home videos. I guess it was like slides or
it was a reel,
like a film strip kind of. Okay, and many theater performances, hanging out with friends, playing volleyball, twirling her hair like Veda does, and her singing. And it was just like a little mishmash of their time together.
I love that song.
I know. They did summer stock plays and stuff together and toured in this troupe together. And it looks like he built sets and she, acted and
It was clear though, everybody was affected by her. She was a very
vibrant person.
Yes.
Yeah,
she really
she commanded
people.
attention. Yes. Even not in like a here, look at me way.
Yeah.
She was just people
just loved her.
She's had something about her. Yeah. Pomeroy gives Veda the movies and explains that Maggie and him divorced because she wanted kids and he didn't. So yeah, and that was one thing that she wanted in life. So he didn't want to keep her if she wasn't going to be happy.
And he has a child now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. But okay, sure. But
she got Veda.
Yeah.
Like she wanted.
So Jeff was really glad that Maggie met Harry and got her wish. I put kinda. Yeah. And Veda will use the movies for her report. But again, like, were they in town? Is that how Maggie met Harry? And like, was Jeff still kind of like lurking around? Like, how? They must have kept in touch. I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably just a simple phone call or something at some point. Like, hey, I'm happy, just so you know. Like,
okay.
You are so cynical. They seem to have ended on very good terms.
That's true.
Like, he obviously has this connection to her still. He kept
and
the
he didn't
movies.
want ill will for her.
No.
It just wasn't working out.
Yeah, just they weren't meant to be.
All right. So Jaguar guy comes back the next day again with strudel because Rose's family is Hungarian. And so they were going to, would you like a taste of the old country? He demands that Rose, Phil demands that Rose tell him about their arrangement. And she said, what arrangement would that be? And she forces Phil's hand and he proposes to Rose. And the cardiologist is left with his strudel in hand.
Yeah, I feel like that isn't the proposal I'd be after, though. But she obviously loves him.
Yeah, and just wanted to be married.
Yeah, okay.
And but he was like coming in all week finding things for them to do with their car, like with his car.
Like, how much you rotate
he's
the
like,
tires?
we rotated your tires, we checked your oil, like Phil's going down the list.
Yeah. What could be left?
Yeah. Veda is dropped back at the airport and says a special goodbye to Nick, who kisses Veda goodbye. I put kissing cousins.
They're not related.
No. And says to look at her backpack when she's on the plane. Oh. Yeah. So Nick's in a daze walking out from this kiss. Yeah. To Don't Worry Baby by the Beach Boys.
It's a good soundtrack.
It's a great soundtrack. Yes. Yeah. Veda finds earrings in her backpack in memory of Barbaric Customs. Love, Nick, on the note. Arthur picks up Veda at the airport. That's her dad's assistant.
Yes.
We saw him in the first movie too. And because she was expecting her dad, so she got worried.
Yeah, she's like, is everything okay?
Who tells Veda that dad took Shelley to the hospital. She was making a lot of noise. And when they get to the hospital, Shelley had the baby. It's a boy, and Harry immediately notices Veda's ears are pierced. Yeah. Did you pierce your ears?
Yeah, what's that on your ears?
Veda's holding her fussing baby brother and sings the song that her mother did, which is Smile, to her new brother. I put newborn, probably hungry, get him on a boo.
He is probably hungry. That's probably why he's fussing.
Yeah.
Or he's wet or something. Yeah. But the song helps momentarily.
She did.
And they're all like, he loves
they
his
bonded
big sister.
already. Yeah. Veda got an A+ on her report, and Nick is coming to visit in the summer. Maggie's greatest achievement was Veda. That's what I know. Oh, it's happening again.
I told you.
And I put, it ends like the first movie to the My Girl song by the Temptations on Main Street in Madison, Pennsylvania. I finally caught the name.
Okay.
Yeah, on this one.
Wherever that may be.
Yeah. I think it's out by like Latrobe and Pittsburgh and that stuff.
Sure.
So that's the movie. Do you have any fun? I have a couple facts.
I don't have too many about this one.
I only have that Nick was also in The Last Action Hero, and he was Logan Bruno in the Babysitters Club movie from 1995. Yeah, and he was in Apollo 13 too. Uncle Phil was in an episode of All in the Family, Risky Business. He was in one episode of Blossom as Ted Russo, so that was the dad in Blossom, so it must have been like a pilot before the pilot, kind of like the Danny Tanner thing.
Yeah,
yeah, and many others I put, but apparently not, because those aren't a lot of stuff I wasn't familiar with. Like he was in a ton of stuff.
So I don't even know, but
And Rose was in Amadeus. She was Richie in Richie Rich. She was the mom with Macaulay Culkin in Richie Rich. Connection. Even though she wouldn't have met him with this. Yeah. She was in American Horror Story Coven. I don't remember her in that, but I would have to look up what she was. Yes. Yeah. And she was in Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she played the wife's mom in Wolf of Wall Street.
I really liked her.
Yeah, I did too. She was cute. I think that's all I got.
We used to love this one.
This I liked better than the first one for whatever reason. Too.
Like, now I flip-flopped. Now I like the first one.
Really? I like them both, I think.
They are both very
Because I like the whole mystery of the mom thing.
Yeah, that was cool. Like, they're like following a trail of breadcrumbs, basically.
Right. And like, who knew that there would be like physical, tangible like movies of her that you could see what her talk.
That's true.
Because all Veda had was a picture, you know, and just a couple things in this box.
Yes.
And,
which she did not look anything like the picture we see in the first movie.
She didn't. She was like,
they didn't try.
No, they didn't. It's a totally different actress, which is fine. But like, she was very pretty in both movies, but not the same actress.
Clearly not the same.
Well, this was not summer movies. This was a movie that we enjoyed watching. And like I said, I don't think we saw this in the theater, but I think we rented it like right after it came out.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then watched it on TV a whole lot. Like every time it was on, I remember wanting to watch it. I remember renting it multiple times.
Yeah, we were really into this one.
I remember even we stayed with our Aunt Patty one weekend and Uncle Ralph, and she let us rent movies, and we rented this one.
Yeah, I remember
that too. Yeah, because we didn't get babysat a lot, but it was one weekend. Yeah,
it was one special weekend away.
Yep. So I love this movie. I still do.
Yeah, I give this one thumbs up all around.
Thumbs up. But we thank you for joining us for another Movie Monday. Please like, subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel, Sisters and Ebert. And please follow us on our social media, Facebook and Instagram at Sisters and Ebert. And we look forward to hearing from you. And did you remember this? Are you a girl our age? These might be a little girly these past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But they were good movies nonetheless. And even like, I thought like it was good that Dan Aykroyd and Shelley came back, even though they had such small parts. But it was good to see the family grow.
Yes.
Yeah. But we thank you again for following us, and please, continue to follow us on social media, like we said, and we'll see you at the movies.